There we go, back again for another game day preview. But this game day preview is probably one of the worst game day previews we could ever do in our lifetime for many reasons. But I'll give you two first of all. It's England versus Germany. So I had to bring back Big Kes from two Maggies Up Top
I'm
to
one.
preview the game for us as well. The second reason is it's one of the most entertaining games in the Euro 2020 tournament I've seen so far in Croatia versus Spain when we're recording it. I was hoping the game would have been done and dusted by now, hoping Croatia would have won. But it's 3-3 in extra time at the moment. So we're kind of like half watching that and we're half previewing England versus Germany. So you may not get the best of the experiences from our preview, but you'll get the most entertaining and the most reactive to our
Come
preview.
on.
But Big how you doing? How's the podcast doing? You all okay?
Yeah, all good, man. All good. I said before, we've not been as active as we'd probably like to be through the Euros. But we've had the live watch alongs, which has been going well. So yeah, can't complain, man. Can't complain.
Yeah, it must have been good as well. I mean, you've got a lot of people in the watch alongs as well, like coming into the house or the apartment that you're in at the moment. So it looks really cool that you're all enjoying it. And I've been watching along with it as well. So I've been enjoying your watch alongs
Love that, love that.
when we're not
Yeah.
doing our watch alongs. But I did one yesterday, which was fun. Belgium versus Portugal, and everyone was just there like we expected so much more from this game.
I was
But
expecting so many more goals in that game, man.
I had Lukaku captain in my fantasy football, so I'm like, come on, Lukaku, do something for me in my
Yeah,
league. But
yeah.
it wasn't the case. But as we were saying just now, Croatia versus Spain is currently happening. Your ITV player is like 30 seconds behind mine. So
Yeah.
if I spoil anything, I apologize in advance. But you know what? Let's get to what we came for in the beginning.
Yeah, let's get to it, man.
England versus Germany, Wembley Stadium, 5 p.m. Tuesday, the 29th of June. First initial thoughts on England versus Germany, Kes. By all means, go ahead. Tell us what you think.
Massive fixture. We know the historic rivalry. What makes this even bigger for me is the pathway to the final for the winner. And obviously,
Yes.
you don't want to look past this game, but it looks very, very tasty for the winner. And you'd probably say the winner of this game should make it to the final, barring any crazy upsets. So again, just adds huge importance to the game, man. Must win game, goes without saying.
Yeah, for me as well. It's one of those situations where, sorry, I won't react to it until you've
Now
seen
go
it.
on, react.
Obviously, it's 4-3 in what
Yeah.
in 4-3. It was 4-3 to Spain, and the person who just messes so many chances up, the one chance you think is going to mess up again, scores. And
I
it's
mean,
ridiculous. It was a great goal as well. It was a great finish.
I'm guessing it's Marathi you're talking about.
It's Morales for Spain, and it's an extra time as well. So
Oh wow. Yeah, oh
if
wow.
if Croatia can come back in this game, great. I don't think they can, but it was a great finish on the half volley by
You know,
Alvaro
Morata's an
Morata.
interesting player, because sometimes he looks exceptional and other times he looks complete trash. I don't know what it is with him. Like,
This goal was exceptional for
it
him.
is, yeah,
For him,
yeah,
it was
yeah,
a
yeah.
great goal. When you see it, you'll just be like,
No,
wow.
I've seen it. Yeah, any player would be proud of that. To be fair, that's great technique.
Great technique,
Great technique.
great balance on the ball as well. Ridiculous goal. 4-3 to Spain,
Wow,
10
what a
minutes in.
game! What a game!
England versus Germany for me, we in my lifetime we've not had the best of experiences watching England versus Germany. We've seen them mostly, obviously, the World Cup in 2010. That's my latest memory of them. We've seen them in international friendlies, which hasn't been the best because obviously some we've lost, some we've drawn, some we've won. We won in 2016, if I remember correctly, as well, which gassed up everyone
Yeah, 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 yeah.
over that time. But for me personally, it's just the fact that I'd rather see an England team that actually takes the sword to Germany as opposed to having a German side dominate us on our own patch at Wembley Stadium. But can you kind of see that happening with the midfield
I
that Tony Kroos and
can't.
Goretzka and Gundogan face against the likes of Declan Rice,
I
Phillips,
mean,
and Mason Mount if he's actually back? I'm not sure Mason Mount's back actually because of the
he,
COVID thing.
he may be, but to be honest with you, I can't see Southgate going out and attacking Germany.
Mm.
If we've looked at the group stage, the quality of the teams we played were not that great. The likes of Croatia, well, doing well at the minute, but Scotland and Czech Republic, we didn't really go out and attack any of those teams. So I can't see us really attacking Germany like that. I feel it's going to be more of a conservative approach. You have two in the pivot. It's be a tight game. Yeah, I'm not expecting many goals from it. To be fair, I'm not expecting many goals at all.
Yeah, because how I see it is if I just share my screen with you, obviously if you're listening, just escape this little bit right here. But basically, I'm gonna show you my team that I've kind of predicted that Gareth Southgate will be using for the game tomorrow. and it's something that I wouldn't really mind seeing, but it's kind of matching them. Ooh, Croatia just had a shot on target. Good save by the keeper. But yeah, if you can see our screen, that's where we're at. So we've got Jordan Pickford in goal. I didn't type his name.
Yeah.
But then you've got back three, because we have been seeing that in the Nations League qualifiers and the Euro qualifiers as well, with Walker, Stones, and Maguire. And then you've got Reece James, Declan Rice, Phillips, and Luke Shaw. They're in the back 6, 7, I would say, with the wing backs as well. And Spain have scored again. Sorry, but Spain have scored again.
Yeah.
Ozirabal, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he scored. It's a good goal as well. 5-3 to Spain. This is ridiculous.
Wow, crazy.
But yeah, got Reece James, got Declan Rice, Calvin Phillips, and Luke Shaw. Then we've got Bukayo Saka after his wonderful performance against Detroit Republic. Harry Kane up top again, and Raheem Sterling. But that's the team I think Gareth Southgate will go for, mostly because of, if I go to this one, onto the Germany side. So that's how I kind of see them going, with Neuer in goal, back three of Ginter, Hummels, and Rudiger, Goretzka and Kroos in the midfield, like we just mentioned. Those are kind of they're the orchestra, the conductors in the orchestra, basically. But for me, Kimmich and Gosens are also very creative from the wide side as well. They're both inverted at the same time, and then you've got the likes of Havertz, Muller, and Serge Gnabry, who we know loves to score a goal in London, which he has obviously against Tottenham as well. But that's kind of how I see the predicted lineups going. Because how do you kind of see the game going out if it's set up like this, like with Kimmich and Gosens being the main focal points of their creative spark, really, Germany?
Again, if you're correct with these lineups, I can see it being a very tight affair. Both teams sort of cancelling each other out, and it could be the odd goal that decides it either way. It's interesting with your England lineup, because for me, I've gone with very similar personnel. The only difference is my system. So you've got the extra defender in there, where I've only got Maguire and Stones as a back four.
Okay.
And then the person I've brought in is Grealish in a 10.
Yep.
So you still got Rice and Phillips sitting.
Yep.
And the only person that I've changed from here is I've swapped out Sterling for... Sorry, Grealish on the left. So Sterling for Grealish, and I've put Foden in the 10.
Foden in the 10, okay. Let's get rid of Sterling on here.
I just feel that with both Rice and Phillips in there, you can afford to go with the back four and get an extra attacker in there.
Because when you see Rice and Phillips as well, it's like a brick wall, basically.
It's like a brick wall.
Yeah.
And Calvin Phillips, you see him do it for Leeds. If you do want to change the system mid-game, he can easily drop back into that back line as well and give you that back three. So it gives you that flexibility in-game as well. So, I mean, we see him do that for Leeds all the time, drop into the back three. He's comfortable on the ball. So that's an in-game adjustment that you can make there. I've also got Reece James in instead of Kyle Walker.
Oh, okay, I got rid of the wrong right back.
Yeah.
Sorry. But why would you go for Reece James? I personally didn't see much about him as a right back in Scotland, but why do you kind of think he would do better than Walker or Trippier even in this game?
To be honest with you, it was a toss-up between Walker and James. And truth be told, I probably would throw Walker in there, but for the fact that I don't fully trust him in the sense that he's a great right back, but I feel like he's more inclined to make a silly mistake at the end of the game or commit a silly foul in a dangerous area. Or I just feel that James is a bit more defensively sound. I feel like with Walker, he's still, even at his late age, so reliant on his pace, and that's what gets him out of a jail a lot of the time for me. So I'm a lot more comfortable with James defensively.
Yeah.
But then I agree that Walker will probably give you a bit more going forward as well, which may be pivotal in this sort of game. So it could be either or, to be fair. But James is a bit more defensively solid for me.
No, that's fair enough. That's quite good. But with Chilwell kind of being in and out of the team because of the whole COVID thing, how confident are we about Luke Shaw at left back? And do you think Trippier should be given a chance at left back again after his performance against Croatia, or is Luke Shaw just the guy for the rest of the tournament for you?
I wouldn't go with Trippier. I'll take him out of the equation for left back. Okay. So for me, it was always between Shaw and Chilwell.
Yeah.
Initially, I may have leaned towards Ben Chilwell, actually. The reason why I've gone with Shaw in this game is I just think, you know what? He's played a few games in the tournament. Chilwell, he's not played. He's then had to isolate. It's been very disruptive for him. So I feel that Shaw has had a run of games. I would just stick with Short left back. But if I was picking it on a bit, it's tight between the two. But Chilwell would be my first choice if the circumstances were in his favour. But yeah, I've gone with Luke Shaw for this game. He's played well up until now. He creates chances going forward as well. And I think the fullbacks are going to be very important in this game as well. So I've gone with Shaw.
I think you're right. I would 100% agree with where the fullbacks are very important for this game, but I'd go one step further and say the fullbacks are what are essential about this game, what wins and loses this game, because as I alluded to earlier, obviously Gosens and Kimmich have had really good tournaments so far, and for me, Kimmich can play rather centre back, centre mid, centre defensive mid, or right mid, right wing back, and his creating from the flanks and his crosses and Gosens with a goal or two against Portugal as well, ridiculous talent that they have as their wing back. So it's just with this formation as well that you kind of see that Hummels and Rudiger, I would say, they'd be kind of exposed on the counter. So if you were to have Foden around this kind of area here, between Hummels and Goretzka, between the lines, and Harry Kane kind of taking on Hummels, the likes of Sterling or the likes of Grealish can take on Ginter, and Saka can go one-on-one with Rudiger. So it's just about how Gareth Southgate plays that. If he goes for a front three, or if he goes for a 3-4-3, but he leaves those three players up top. So they don't have to do the defensive work, they don't have to track back, and they don't really have to worry about the defensive line. But I think, like we said before, the fullbacks for me and the centre mids is where the game will be won or lost in that midfield.
I'll be honest with you, Hamz. Like I look at this Germany team, and even their back line. There's some good defenders in there. Rudiger's had a solid season for Chelsea since Tuchel took over. But I personally feel that this back line, if we go attacking, you can get at the likes of Rudiger. Hummels has got a mistake in him these days. I just think that with the attacking players we've got, you free up the likes of Saka and Grealish getting at these defenders. I'm seeing lots of fouls edge of the box, chances from set pieces. I feel we can get at Germany. I don't really fear them as I once did.
No, you're right with that, because how I see it as well, like I think this would be like a prime game for Marcus Rashford in the tournament. If I ever saw one, Croatia just hit it wide. 30 seconds into the second half. Come on, that would have been a good comeback. Sorry, but literally between this area, I know I'm going full scout, full manager mode, but basically between Hummels and Ginter right here, that's where the likes of Sterling and Grealish and Rashford can run through, take on them with their pace. And Ginter, he's known to go upfield quite a bit as well. And then Hummels and Rudiger kind of drop into like which allows Goretzka to go up forward as well, and Kimmich and Gosens to push forward, which their starting positions are a lot further than they were against Portugal than they were against Hungary. So it's just about like Hungary, they were always breaking on the counter, but Ronaldo, besides his goal, they didn't really get at Germany in the counter attack. So it's just about how we can get them on the break as well. But do you reckon it would be one of those things that we have to kind of get them on the break because the likes of Kroos and Goretzka will be dominating possession?
Well, here's the thing. I look at it, and if you allow Kroos to play, he's going to dictate the pace of the game. But I just feel that if we've got enough legs in midfield, the likes of Rice and Phillips, Young can get about the pitch. I think we can win that midfield battle. You can stifle the likes of Kroos and get tight to him, not give him the time to dictate the play. If we're aggressive with it, I really do think we can stifle Germany. It just depends on how bold Southgate is. If you sit back against the likes of Kroos and allow him to play, he's going to pick out passes left, right, and centre. I personally think we've got to be aggressive. Get at Germany. I think this is a great opportunity, playing at Wembley as well, to just go from. I don't see a lot of pace in this Germany side. I'll be honest with you.
It's literally just in there. Number 9, Gnabry, Kimmich, and maybe Gosens as well. Havertz isn't the quickest of players, but then you've got the likes of Sane on the bench, but he's not going to be starting, I don't think, in the system under Joachim Löw. But if there's ever a time to go at Germany and be aggressive at Germany, it's Wembley Stadium with 45,000 in the crowd, with the likes of Sterling, Kane, Grealish, Foden at your disposal, Rashford, Sancho, even Saka. And Lothar Matthäus came out this week and said that, we're happy to give Jadon Sancho a German passport if England don't want to play him. Maybe this is the right time to bring him in as like a half-time sub or something. Tie the likes of Hummels, Rudiger out, get them on a yellow card and just expose them.
Let the kid play, man. Let the kid play. I mean, I'm looking at our bench for most of these games, and like I said, a lot of the games we played have been very conservative. But you've got so much attacking talent on the bench. It would be, I mean, if he goes 1-0, 1-0, 1-0 way to the final, I guess he can turn around and say, listen, it was justified. But if we go out, you're going to look back at this tournament with great regret. The likes of Sancho on the bench, hardly getting any minutes. Rashford on the bench, all these options you've got. And we scored, what, 2 goals so far?
Yeah, 2 goals from the same player, Raheem
I
Sterling.
mean,
And
I
they've
hear
both
that,
been
yeah.
in the box as well. So nothing amazing or to light the
Yeah.
crowd up, basically.
And I hear, and I've heard the fact that we haven't conceded yet, and that's impressive. But again, I look at the teams we played, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't know how impressed I am with 2-1-0 wins. We topped the group, yes, but yeah, I think there's a lot more to come from this team if you just let them play, man.
Yeah, it's going to be good to see them play, and it's going to be good to see how we set up as well. Because, like you said, you've gone for a 4-3-3, I've gone for a 3-4-3. But with how Gareth Southgate was tinkering like the last 12 months or so, I think he's probably preparing for one of the bigger teams. But even with the likes of Phillips and Rice, like you said, it's a double brick wall that we've got. We haven't
Yeah.
conceded as of yet, and we can get out there midfield, which I think
To
will
be
be
honest with
quite
you,
good.
my formation was more of I was leaning more towards a 4-2-3-1. So it's similar, but you'd have obviously on a 4-3-3, you'd probably expect the likes of Saka and Grealish to be a bit further up the pitch. I can't imagine that he's going to go with that. I just think that Saka's very good defensively as well, and Grealish starts to pick up the ball from deep. So I imagine that the wide players will sit a bit further back. So rather than a 4-3-3, it'd be more 4-2-3-1. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I can understand that as well. It's like something that because Saka's defensively sound as well. He's played at left back, left wing back as well. The utility boy in him has just showed that he can play anywhere. He's got the maturity.
Fantastic player, man. Honestly, for a guy so young as well to step in, what he displayed the other day was, I don't know, just like he was fearless. He was fearless, and I think even like, a lot's been made of Phil Foden. He's a phenomenal player, but what Saka's done stepping in is phenomenal. Because Foden's had a few quiet games. Not blaming him at all, but for Saka to step in like that at 19 and boss it like that, honestly, it's amazing.
I remember just shouting out like Saka just looks like Messi when I was watching the game, and I know for a fact he's nothing like Lionel Messi, but just him on the half turn, turning around, taking 1 or 2 people on the right hand side. It reminded me of that like Messi goal when he was younger, that Maradona goal. Obviously, he didn't score because it went to like Sterling at the end and the cross went in, whatever. But it's just that run. He just broke into space. He wasn't stopping for anyone, and he just played it forward. And I think this is what will give Harry Kane some confidence as well, that there is an attacker with me that will look to find me and look to give me some proper chances.
This is the thing. When you've got someone that's willing to attack defenders, right, and give them something different to think about, especially in these tight games, as soon as you get the defense trying to double up on him, that's going to create space for someone else, the likes of Kane. Do you know what I mean? So if you got defenders doubling up on Saka on his side, Kane no longer has to drop into centre midfield to pick the ball up. He's going to be getting more space in the attacking areas. So and Grealish is the exact same on the other side. That's why I'd have him in there, because he just draws players towards him. He's like a magnet, and in drawing players in, it just creates space for your other attacking players to go forward and do their thing. So,
because if you look in the second half in the Czech Republic game, he kind of stopped doing that, like dropping deep, Harry Kane, because he realised that Saka and Sterling can bomb on past him and Grealish can go past him. Plus, he can also drop deep and pick up the ball. He can do some of the job that Harry Kane was doing at Tottenham for him.
There you go. Yeah,
he doesn't have to rely on doing everything at once. He can just be the focal point, be the striker, and try and take on their defenders. And he nearly scored, and Henderson nearly scored to make it 2-0, but he was offside. But it's just this Harry Kane dilemma. I think I want to talk about next, about how he gets a goal, and this is the perfect time, if anything, to get a goal against Germany, home crowd, captain of your country as well. It's just about how do we see that happening? Does he have to like isolate Hummels? Does he have to go past Rudiger, or is it kind of Ginter he has to kind of prey on as well? If you had to pick one, who would you kind of think Harry Kane would be the best to kind of focal point on? Because that's what he does as a defender. He always leans on the back of one of them and just runs off them.
In terms of temperament, I think the easiest to get out would be Rudiger. He's got the best athletic ability, but temperament, he's not very great. He's the kind of player that you can wind up. He'll give away silly fouls when he gets frustrated. And like I said, set plays can, Hummels has got a mistake in him. But yeah, I think Rudiger's the one I would sort of. The only thing is, obviously, Rudiger's a lot quicker than Harry Kane is. So it just depends, really. I think with Harry Kane in this tournament, he's just got to stay up top. Like, we spoke about him at Tottenham when he drops deep and he's playing balls in behind. At Tottenham, you've got the legs of Son running in behind. I think you said before, if you've got a Rashford running in behind, then Kane dropping deep is a little bit more effective. But if
Yeah.
you're playing the likes of Saka and Grealish, let's say on the wings, you've got to stay up top in the attacking positions and let them feed you the ball.
You got to
Do you
do
know what I mean?
more. You got to do more as a striker than more as like a team player, basically.
100%. And this is why I look at it and I think to myself, even with Gareth Southgate, he surely has to be addressing this. Like, you shouldn't still be seeing Harry Kane dropping deep for England now, when he's your main goal scorer. I didn't understand the sub he made when he took him off in the first game and
Yeah.
brought on Rashford.
Yeah.
I just thought, if you're going to take him off and you're going to try to be bold, go with Calvert-Lewin. It's the only other 9 you've got in the squad. Give him a chance. Maybe lock some long balls up to him.
Yeah, that's what he does. That's Calvert-Lewin's bread and butter for holding the ball up and getting plays into the game as well. And Rashford was just one of those who was. He didn't look lost, but he hasn't played as a centre forward for a while now, so he was just trying to run through on the wing and hold it up on the wing. But you're like, you don't play there in this game, Marcus Rashford. But for me, it's going to be fun to see how we attack against them. But I just want to know a bit more about the German attack from yourself. So we've got Gnabry, we've got not Hummels, we've got Gnabry, we've got Müller, and we've got Havertz as well. So does that kind of scare you in terms of like the defense that we have and the defense that you'd set up as well? If anyone, who'd be the scariest that you think we'd be facing?
I'd say Gnabry for his pace. He's obviously a lot more than pace, but his pace is frightening.
Very direct as well.
Very direct. And Maguire and Stones, none of them are the quickest. So maybe then go with your formation and having Walker in there makes sense to sort of deal with the speed of Gnabry. Thomas Müller, we know his quality. I'm not massively fearful of him in that squad at the minute. And who's the other one we said? And Kai Havertz, again, we know his quality, but am I scared? You give him a chance, he's going to do something with it. But again, I feel that we can deal with the likes of Havertz and Müller. Honestly, I honestly do. I think Sane coming off the bench for his pace again. It's the pace that's going to be our biggest downfall, really. But I trust Maguire and Stones to be able to mop up anything around the box with the other players. So not too fearful of the attack, and that's why I'm saying we can afford to step on Germany a little bit. We don't need to be too conservative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With Rice and Phillips in there as well, I'm fairly confident. That we can even keep a clean sheet against Germany. To be fair.
Yeah, I don't see how we can't as well. It's like I said at the beginning. My main 3 points was literally nullifying that midfield, nullifying Kimmich and Gossens, and really getting at them, just like you said at the beginning as well. So going through their back line, because their back line has been tested against France. They only conceded 1, which is the own goal, but they were open that whole game as well. Hungary, that game against the weakest side in that team, obviously they got knocked out, but the fact that they literally conceded a couple goals on the counter-attack. Sterling, Rashford, we've gone through these names already. The pace of our players is frightening to them. And I don't really see how we can not give everything we have for this game. It will feel like a final to some of these players as well. Like Austria against Italy, it felt like a final to them at Wembley Stadium.
Mark my words, this is the game Harry Kane gets on the score sheet, though. I feel it.
That's okay. I was just going to ask you for your score prediction, so let's hear that properly.
Score prediction. I'm going to go with 2-0 England. 2-0 England. I know we've only scored 2 goals so far. But I feel a bigger test will bring out the best in the players. I feel we've got enough experience in the squad to rise to the occasion. The occasion. And nice mix of youth and experience. I'm fairly confident. I'll be honest, I'm fairly confident. Famous buzzwords, but yeah, I'm going 2-0 England. What do you reckon?
No, I'm glad you're confident, because I'm slightly confident as well. I'm happy with the fact of all the 3 teams that we could have faced. We got Germany, out of Germany, Portugal. We did have Hungary for a bit, but France as well. But Germany were a team that I think we could have got out, because seeing Portugal yesterday, they defended quite well. It was just a great strike. They conceded to Thorgan Hazard on the counter. But it's just one of those things that Portugal have always been a bogey team in tournaments, and my PTSD would just come in from 2004 and 2006. So having Germany at Wembley would be a great fresh approach, and seeing the likes of Harry Kane, Jordan Henderson, if he gets into this team from the bench, even Maguire, like you said, with the experience. And a lot of these players have played in Champions League finals. They've played in like youth tournaments as well for England as well. Sancho, Foden, they've won it with the youth teams in England as well. Calvert-Lewin as well. So it's the fact that we're going to see a lot more of I want to see a bolder England approach. I think it's going to be 2-1 England. I think we will win. I think we'll go through. And I think we'll be playing Sweden in the next round. So it will be Sweden and Ukraine. I think
Yeah,
I think those are the I think those are the two teams that we're
yeah,
going to play.
yeah.
But I think Sweden will beat Ukraine as well because Sweden have been very good. They've never been easy on the eye, but they've got the job done for their team, which has been good to see.
Yeah,
They've been
yeah. They've
enjoyable.
been very defensive, but I like the striker, Isaac. He looks like he could be a real serious striker.
You would like him. Arsenal are linked with him as well.
I do, yeah. Do you know what? I actually shouted him pre-tournament to have a good one. He's had a great season in Spain. Technically sound, man. Like the way he moves the ball, first touch. Yeah, once he feels out of it, he's going to be dangerous, I feel.
Yeah, it's going to be brilliant. We were discussing it earlier as well, and I was saying it as a cliche. Like we discussed it pre-tournament. He's one of the younger kids to watch out as well. But as a cliche, he's one of those younger players that just looks so much more mature for his age, and he actually does in every single game, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Sweden are going to beat Ukraine tomorrow night as well. They're going to face Sweden in the next round. But before I let you go, Kes, I know this game's going to be ending, and Spain have hit the post, and they've hit the post. But yeah, I just want to know your thoughts on the tournament so far, seeing as we haven't had a proper catch up in terms of, well, we've been messaging on Instagram, but we haven't been like talking as much. But let me hear your thoughts on the tournament so far. Like favorite game, worst game, best performer, worst performer, disappointing performer. Anything you want to talk about?
In this tournament is I like the way it's been refereed. I really do. Yeah, it's unlike me to shout referees, but what I've noticed in this game is players trying to draw cheap fouls, throwing themselves to the ground. The referee's not been buying it, and it's made for a much better spectacle, to be fair. So I've definitely enjoyed that element. I'm not even too mad at how VAR's been used. So that shows how shambolic it's been in the Prem, because I feel it's been used very well in this tournament.
And the refereeing in the Prem as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's an eye opener. In terms of favourite game, what did I say? I mean, this game, obviously, what I'm watching now is going to be up there. What games have I enjoyed? The first half of France, or first 70 minutes of France-Portugal was a good game until they stunk out the place for the last 20 minutes just playing for the draw. Yeah, Portugal-Belgium. Yeah, no, I'm not really. I expect a bit more from that game.
Yeah, same. More goals.
Yeah, more goals. Italy have been phenomenal. They've got a tough game against Belgium next round. But
I can't wait for that.
Yeah, great game.
That's for me. That's one of those barbecue ones. Like I've just told my cousin, I'm coming around your house.
Yeah,
I'm coming around your house. We're gonna have a barbecue. We're watching both quarterfinals together.
Yeah.
Needs to be done. Belgium versus Italy is good enough to be the final, so it's gonna be fun to see that game.
100%. And do you know what? Judging on Belgium's performance yesterday, I'd have Italy as slight favourites for that one.
Yeah, I would, especially if De Bruyne and Hazard confirmed to be out as well.
Oh, they confirmed out?
Apparently so. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I've been told that today. That they're going to be out of the game. Hamstring for Hazard and something, another injury for De Bruyne. Ankle. An ankle.
Wow.
But yeah, full time in this game, 5-3, and it was a ridiculous game, this one. But Spain are through, so we're going to see later on if they're going to be facing France or Switzerland. But no, those were quite good games. Like with me, one of my favorite games was Denmark versus Belgium as well. So that was when Denmark were ahead and Kevin De Bruyne just came on. And me as a Man United fan, I'm just there like, I can't like Kevin De Bruyne in a Man City shirt. But for Belgium, just enjoyed watching him. I was like, wow.
Phenomenal when he come on. Changed that game.
Insane.
Single-handedly, yeah.
Like, Man City players have just made me smile. Raheem Sterling, Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan for Germany as well. Which is ridiculous as well. Rodri came on today, but he didn't really do much. But obviously the England-Croatia game was fun to watch. Sorry, you were going to say something as well.
No, sorry. Do you know who I've been impressed with as well, actually? Pedri. I've heard a lot about him, but I don't really watch Spanish football that frequently. And for someone so young, he's shown great composure. Every time I see him on the ball, very composed, never panics. I've really liked what I've seen from him, to be fair.
I liked his own goal today. It was fantastic.
I missed it. Yeah, I did miss the own goal. The back pass to the keeper.
The back pass to the keeper.
Oh, yeah, the keeper, though. Come on, like.
I was just there, like, that's what it's going to be remembered for this tournament. It's played so well, so consistently as well.
Yeah.
And then it's just, it's an own goal. So.
What's funny is I saw an instant later on in the game where he had an opportunity to pass back to the keeper and he just drew the foul. He's like, nope. Not again.
Not again. I'm not getting 2 own goals against me today. But no, it's been a good tournament. Like the Netherlands, I enjoyed watching their first game. They were fun to watch as well. And I'm like, you know what?
Though.
They crumbled, and I thought it was one of those where Memphis Depay would be leading his team out further than they were, and that was obviously a shock the other day against the Czech Republic. And
let's be honest, the red card changes the game. I think 30 seconds prior, Marlon's through on goal. He has to score.
I was disappointed with that because Marlon was one of the players that I kind of like hyped up before the tournament. I was like, I want to see Marlon doing an international tournament with Depay up front. And then yesterday they started together. I'm like, yes, this is going to be good. But then we realized that Workhorse was literally there for a reason, and Workhorse has scored the goals, Marlon hasn't, and just capitulated for the Netherlands. But they were exciting to watch as a neutral as well, which was fun. My favorite goal, what would I say my favorite goal was so far? Before I would say, obviously the favorite is like Sterling because it's England, but the best goal I'd say Christensen for Denmark, if you remember that one.
Good strike. Yeah. Even the goal last night for Belgium.
Yeah.
Even I'll question the keeper slightly, but yeah, great strike.
And obviously the Czech Republic one against Scotland as well. That was beautiful.
Oh, how can we forget that one? Yeah, that one's probably goal of the tournament so far for me.
Absolute swaz.
Again, you can look at the keeper's positioning, but for him the ball's running away from him, and him to do that from the halfway line is outstanding. So that's my favorite goal actually. I forgot about that one.
Nah, that's all well and good. Just before we leave you, Kes, obviously the game's going to start in a bit. I just want to know who do you think's going to win the tournament? So we'll just go for one of those cliches. Do you reckon England's going to do it? Do you reckon we can do it? Or do you reckon it's going to be a France or a Belgium type team that's going to win it?
It's coming home.
It's coming home.
Coming home.
That's why we're in the badge today, which is hyping up England. Well. We're doing it today.
I mean, to be fair, realistically, I look at it. Initially, I was saying France. Mm-hmm. I mean, the squad is crazy. All of the top teams, I've seen faults in them this tournament that I haven't seen previously.
Yeah.
France have looked beatable in certain games, even with the mighty Benzema back in the team. Belgium, I mean, they won yesterday.
Mbappe's been a letdown for me as well. Yeah, he's been poor. Yeah.
Been poor, been very quiet. Belgium, we talk about their attacking talent. We saw yesterday that, Portugal are unfortunate to go out. I don't know. I think if England can win tomorrow and get to the final in a one-off game against one of these teams, who knows? So, yeah, I'm going with England. It's coming home.
It could easily be like England versus Italy or England versus Spain.
Italy's the team I'd want the least out of these guys, though.
Yeah, that defense.
I'll be honest, yeah.
Don't pass that defense at all.
Yeah.
But no, thank you very much, Kes, for your conversation as always.
Pleasure, as always, mate.
Let me get this posted and up and running as soon as possible. But where are you watching the game tomorrow? You watching it at home? You're not going to be working or anything?
Again. Yeah, no, I'm working early tomorrow, so I'll be back in time for it. So yeah, same sort of setup, man. Same sort of setup.
No worries. Enjoy the watch along if you are having one. If you're not, buzz me and we'll do a Zoom watch along together.
So yeah, I will be doing one. So we could try do the Insta. I missed you last time.
Yeah, I think I was having like dinner or something before or after, but we'll do the Instagram before. I'll be home anyway. Instagram live will be fun.
Yeah, cool. We'll do that before the game then.
No worries. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy the game.
Take care.
Thanks everyone for listening. Take care and goodbye.